My beautiful Christians. My beautiful Christians. I'm a Christian. Wait, what do you mean you a Christian? We know, right? Right? So if Donald Trump is admitting in a speech that he's not Christian, why is that not making news? I go by Harry Billion. All of these conversations I've had for years behind the scenes with my friends and everybody else, I now get a YouTube channel where I can just talk about it to the general public. I can just tell you how I feel. And if you like this type of commentary, I would love for you to subscribe and join the community, join the conversation. Donald Trump recently had a message for Christian voters. Let's take a listen and then you'll get my reaction. Let's go.
Christians, get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to.
Did he just say, I'm a Christian or I'm not Christian?
I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian.
See, that's the thing about Donald Trump. He's not the best public speaker. He says these words and sometimes you understand them, sometimes you don't.
I'm a Christian.
I ain't got no problem with the guy not being the best orator in the world. I don't have no issues with that. I'm just saying. But did you hear,
I'm a Christian.
I'm not Christian, or did you hear, I'm a Christian?
Love you, Christians. I'm a Christian.
But that's not the thing, though. If you are Christian and you are amongst Christians or speaking with Christians, like, let's say a pastor. Does a pastor ever have to say, I'm a pastor? Right? Let's finish this and then we'll deal with the whole thing later. Let's just finish this because it's interesting.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Now, Brad, the left-wing media are making out like Trump was promising to go full dictator, but that's not what he was really saying here, was it?
No, he
the
was just
left-wing media. Everybody has their guy or their gal. MSNBC is for the Democrats. CNN is kind of like sort of in the middle for Democrats. They try to be for everyone, but it's like you get Fox, you get MSNBC, right? And then kind of CNN is trying to please both crowds. Depending on your political affiliation, you're going to watch either one of those channels. If you are like CNN type-ish or you are more centrist, you'll try to dibble and dabble from different channels to try to get a more of a brought up view. You'll go over here to Fox and see what are they talking about. I've watched Fox in the past. You'll go over here to MSNBC and try to see what they're talking about and try to make sense of it. So Sky News in Australia, they're in Australia. So I'm not sure if they are a Fox affiliate in Australia, but it seems as if they are Republican-ish. They're kind of like maybe being funded by the Republican side of politics in America. This is Brad Palumbo. He's the Trump pundit that is supposed to try to make sense out of this whole thing for us to understand what's going on. I'm holding everybody accountable on this channel, okay? Let's keep listening.
No, he was just speaking in his typical Trumpian style, which honestly I can't help but laugh a little bit.
Okay?
Listening to it, he's just such a unique individual.
He is such a unique individual. Yes, he is. Isn't Trump a unique individual? We all are unique in a special way, right? But Trump is always saying these things that sounds really, really unique, right? He has a lot of unique takes. Very interesting, unique takes this guy Trump has, all right?
He's trying to drive out the vote this November. He's telling them that he'll fix everything, and then who cares if 4 years from now if you have to vote or not, just vote this November. Like, the most obvious explanation is the most likely explanation, which is just that he's trying to drive up votes this November, and he's saying, you know, frankly, I don't think he'll care very much because Donald Trump cares a lot about, well, Donald Trump.
We agree, Brad. We agree. Yes, sir. We agree. We definitely agree on that one. All right. Trump only cares about Trump. And that's it. Trump don't care about nothing. He don't care about anybody else but himself. He would throw anybody and everybody under the bus. And he don't care about none of it. All right? So if you think for one iota, 1 second, that Trump cares about you, I got a bridge in Brooklyn, which is not too far from here, that I can sell you, and it's cheap. I have a coupon I can give you. Trump don't care about nothing and nobody. I definitely agree with Brad on what he says right there.
So he's like, vote this time, get me back in, and then 4 years from now, you won't have to worry about it. I'll have fixed everything. I'm amazing.
You believe that? He'll fix everything, and then who cares? Trump will fix everything, and then who cares? Really, bro? Come on, Brad. You don't believe that, do you really, Brad? Do you really believe that Trump was saying, hey, man, I'm going to fix everything, and then who cares? Yo, come on, bro. Like, I want politics to be honest. I like my... Is that possible for politics to be honest? Never. But at least, come on, give us something we can hold on to. Let's continue listening.
I think the slightly egocentric explanation for his comments is the most likely one. Not that he's accidentally revealed some plan to become a dictator and shut down the elections in 4 years or anything like that, which, frankly, he couldn't do even if he wanted to. And I think it's a total stretch and overreading of these remarks. And Trump says plenty of things that they could go after him for. They need to stop making stuff up and going after him for things he never said. It's really exhausting. They've been doing this for almost a decade at this point.
Well, Brett, it's always...
And then he wipes his mouth. Like, I'm going to leave it up to the linguistics, to the body language experts to tell me what wiping your mouth means when you're done saying something. I'll leave it up to those channels to do that. I'm sure there's something there. I've given you a little bit, but now let's do the job that I'm here to do. Let's break it down piece by piece. If you are a Christian, why do you have to tell other Christians that you are Christian? Some tells me right there that he says, I'm not Christian. I think that's what Donald Trump said. I think he says, I'm not Christian, but I got y'all. And if he's not a Christian, then how is he selling you guys Bibles? It's a Christian nation. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America is a Christian nation. Everybody made us think about Barack Obama being a secret Muslim who may take over the country, that he wasn't Christian. I believe Obama was a Muslim, and he converted to Christianity. He was still holding on to some of his Muslim faith. That's why when he met the imam, or I don't know what Muslims call their pastors, it could be imam, the leader, the spiritual leader, that's why he bowed down. It was a natural occurrence, all right? It was a natural thing that happened. We saw him kneeling down. We saw that. That was a natural thing that comes out of you. That Muslim thing was still there. When you are Muslim, you bow down to the imam or you bow down to the spiritual leader, stuff like that. But to protect that Christian thing that you have to push to be in this nation, to be leading a Christian nation like the United States of America, we had to denounce being a Muslim. So I get that part of it. You understood that, right? You didn't know what was going on, right? Like you didn't really believe that he was all the way Christian, right? I'm an Obama guy, but you didn't buy all of the stories, right? You didn't drink all the Kool-Aid, right? Anyway, so if Donald Trump is admitting in a speech that he's not Christian, why is that not making news? That should be the biggest news of the day. Donald Trump admitting that he's not Christian. I'm not Christian. I know. The way that it sounded, they're going to flip it and say, he said, I'm a Christian. Because Donald Trump speaks in a way where audibly you can't really make out what he's saying. Like that other Republican that said colored sorority.
She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority, a sorority, a college sorority.
It came out and it sounded like college sorority. So some people agree, like he possibly said college sorority. We're giving him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to give him college sorority, even though we all know he said colored sorority. Because why would you have to say college sorority as opposed to the high school one or the middle school sororities? How many sororities you know in high school? Maybe the elementary sorority. I don't know. But if you're a Christian talking to Christians, my beautiful Christians, I'm a Christian. Wait, what do you mean you a Christian? We know, right? Right? Well, you a Christian, we know that. Like, I have to remind you that I'm black. I'm black. I'm black, guys. Like, I'm really black. Okay? If it wasn't for this light, I'll be darker than my shirt. I'm black. Yeah, I mean, just think about it, bro. We are at Turning Point. We're speaking to Christians. Why would I have to tell the Christians at this Christian convention that I'm a Christian? Almost like you're trying to convince them that you're something that you're not. There's a lot of flawed Christians. We're all flawed. I understand it. But it's weird to say I'm a Christian. Just put it that way. You understand what I'm saying? It's weird, at least. That's the first thing. And then you get to the part where you're like, I'm going to fix it. I would like to know, what the heck are you trying to fix? What in the world are you trying to fix? What are you going to fix? Brad is being half genuine, not being fully genuine. Like, stop playing with me. We understand that when you are a political pundit, it is your job to try to put out the fire for your political candidate. That's what pundits do. That's their job. Put out the fire or spread the message, push the message, the agenda. If they make a boneheaded comment or they say something that just sounds outlandish, it sounds like they're about to do a takeover, and you're in a government where there is no takeover, where people get afraid. In the United States, people fear big governments because of the history of the United States. So whenever the government is getting way too big, people start being afraid. When certain political individuals and candidates, when they make statements, they send people out there to try to fan the flame or to try to put out the fire, do those type of things. When Donald Trump says, I'm going to fix it, what exactly does I'm going to fix it mean? And what exactly are you going to fix? Now, I understand what Brad is trying to do, but Brad, if you are a true American, a true patriot, if you are American, period, I don't know if you're an American or you live in Australia, I have no idea. If you are a true American and you were not for Donald Trump, wouldn't it be up to you to understand what did he say that he was going to fix, or what did he mean, I'm going to fix it so you don't have to vote again? Christians, get out and vote just this time. Just this time. What do you mean by just this time? Get me into office and I'm going to implement whatever I need to implement, and then the rest is going to be history. Trust me. Just get me in there. I got something coming. What do you got coming? You should explain what you got coming. And another thing to Christians, like my Christian folks, why are you so gullible? The word of God says you should study to show yourself approved. You let these political people come into your churches that defile the church. They say all kinds of weird things. The pastor is in the pocket of these political people because he's trying to align with the political candidate. Regardless of which party you're for, the very first party you should be concerned about is Christ and the message that he preaches. You have to listen to what these people are saying, whose lives they're affecting. If they're affecting certain lives, and the way that those lives are going to be affected does not satisfy your Christianity, or it does not adhere to who God says you need to be and how you need to live your life, then you have to check that at the door. You got to check your pastor. It'll be sort of like this. The pastor bringing in a preacher or another pastor who they know is a sinful person, who they know is a misogynist, who they know is a racist, who they know is not a man of God, and that person speaking over your lives. You as a body of the church, you need to talk to the pastor, either get him to sit down or let him leave the church, or reprimand him to change his ways so that he doesn't do that again. When this political stuff happens, it really goes to show you guys that you're not really Christians. You're just a group that needs a community, somewhere to meet and to have community so that you can feel better for yourselves. Remove that tag, that Christian tag off of it, because a lot of y'all are not acting like Christians. You're not moving like Christians. You're not acting like Christians. You're just performing things and then calling it church. Because these politicians, you're not listening to them keenly. You're just going by the wind. Anything they say, you're cheering, and it's not godly. So I don't know who you're serving, but God should be in the forefront. God should be the first party that you adhere to before you adhere to either Republican, Democrat, Independent, yada, yada, yada. Think about it, guys. Think about it. I go by Harry Billion. Please subscribe to the channel. Lighthearted content. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. It's just Harry Billion's reaction, okay? It's just the billionaire's reaction. Look, man, take care of your people in your community. No matter what community you're in, take care of your people and stop being so hateful, because God don't like hatefulness.